Hi, minasan. Yoku gambatteru. Welcome to another roleplay review. This time we're going to be going over New Haven Side Story Extra, Namekians. Hello. Oops, let me change that. Let me change this to, I'm just going to put Namekians. And can we change this hue? Yeah. Well, green. Namekian green. There we go. All right. Hi. New Haven Side Story Extra Namekians. What a log we have here. Nickmas is old school like me, so he doesn't believe in this newfangled synopsis and characters and arcs and all that. My man copies and pastes directly to the forums. Formatting? Absolutely not. Fuck a format. We ride, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I had to make a joke. Welcome to this roleplay review. This is a travesty already, but we're gonna power through it. In this log, it's Genesis and Cordio, and they are in New Haven, which the reason that I gave it this picture for the title is because it reminds me of like the walled city in Hong Kong, Kulong, where it's kind of described where it's just people stacked on top of people, stacked on top of people, stacked on top of people. And Nickmas loves this place. This is his baby. This New Haven is something very dear to him. It has its own character. It has its own personality that I think he wants preserved more than anything. Like, I feel like if Nickmas were to have a legacy, it is Haven and New Haven. And I think it's very well deserved, right? I think for Nickmas, who has roleplayed, who has been on and off an admin for as long as, we've been around, I think, yeah, he should have a legacy. Like, not outside of like a character legacy. Like, he himself, James, should have a legacy on DBI, and New Haven is definitely it. And that's where they're meeting. This is kind of, I don't know if it's ever been explained that this is Genesis's home. Let me come back to here. I don't know if this has been explained that this is Genesis's home, but it kind of is, at least from my headcanon. This is maybe not so much where he grew up, but probably where his egg was laid. I don't even know how the story of Doomiston and Genesis really existed. If Doomiston did spit him out, if he were some sort of genetic reprogramming that Prime did, I don't really know the origin of Genesis, but I would have to assume that yes, this would be his home. And he is meeting up with Cordio, who, damn, girl, what an entrance. Alright, so for y'all that don't know, Cordio has Shardvale, which I still call Shard Devil, which is his, like, golem crystal kind of thing that we find out now can turn into or is part of his crystal spaceship that he travels across. Like, Cordio won when it comes to like Canvas members. Dude has some of the coolest shit going on, and he's just this kind of like pacifistic Namekian traveling the stars and digging up shards and stuff. It's this character is so cool. But yeah, Cordio flies in on Shardvale and is like, hey, like, just walk around the city, don't get into too much trouble. And Shardvale's like, alright, I'm a big giant golem thing, and I'm made out of crystals, so I'm gonna go like in my head, I'm just like, I'm gonna go stick out as much as possible because I am a big weird crystal thing. Bye bye. And that's not at all how the character portrays. That's just me being a dumbass. But yeah, these guys meet up, and Cordio has a shard of something. We don't really know what it is. Cordio really believes it has something to do with the Dragon Balls, but it like spoke to him. And, he's all entwined. He's got nature energy, and he's really in touch with, like, planetary forces. And Genesis, kind of the same, but, Genesis has always been a tinkerer. He's always been a maker, a crafter. So his comes more in the form of shaping natural energy rather than communing with it. So they're like... It's very cute. I won't say cute, but this is like a very touching kind of scene because we don't ever get to see two Namekians just sit down and talk to each other, right? Like, we don't get to see them kind of ever really like share a bonding moment through being Namekians. And like, Genesis to me is like barely a Namekian, right? Like he doesn't show those normal traits, even less so than I would say Piccolo, right? Because Piccolo never really knew his people. He was just the egg from Evil King Piccolo. And, Kami probably was around way back then, but they never sat down. It was like, hey, do you remember the islands of whatever? Like, And Genesis, like, even less so. And I think Genesis maybe doesn't want to. I don't know. He still has this, like, rebellious teenager kind of edge to him. But they do have this moment of, like, yeah, like I'm more of, like, the warrior clan, and you're of the dragon clan. Like, you can create Dragon Balls, and I'll fight the dragon. That's how I feel like these two are. And they're going through each other's philosophy of what this thing could be. And I will say it does feel like the two of you, like, one person really wanted to push it one way, and the other person really wanted to push it the other way. It didn't, like, kind of gel together as well. But maybe it was just me not reading it correctly, or not picking up the vibe that you guys were putting down. Maybe you guys did, like, agree of, like, yeah, this is what this is going to be, and these two characters are just going to talk about it. But this all kind of ends in a mystery, right? And it's a very good way of leading to the next chapter. Like, I really do want to figure out, like, okay, what is this shard? And this is one of those, like, setups, right? This is a setup log where we could have this long adventure. Honestly, between these two characters, it would be kind of interesting if Genesis did pal around with Cordio, with Cordio leading and Genesis still learning, right? Like, I won't say maybe that, like, Genesis has completed his, like, martial arts journey, but I think the mysticism part of him is his next big adventure. Like, I feel like that's how he kind of completes himself. That might even be, how he adds more to the way of the Heavenly Fist, right? Because at some point, like, doing the same thing over and over, like, you reach your peak at that thing. And so maybe this spiritual journey that he could go on with Cordio and with these shards could be his next step. And for Cordio, kind of the opposite of, like, I won't say, because I think Cordio's tier 3. Cordio is, yes, tier 3. So maybe, him starting to get more physical is how he then branches off, and that's, by training his actual body, by training more martial arts, that's how he gets into tier 4, tier 5, and beyond. But yeah, this was a good log. This was very interesting to see how these two Namekians kind of approached something like this, right? And when I say like this thing was talking to him, this wasn't just like it was like, oh, I am the shard of something. Like this was speaking to Cordio to the point where like his ears were bleeding when he opened the box. And yeah, he even says like it was like a growl too, and it felt very primal and very animalistic, like very old too. So it was just like this sweet like, oh, I am the ghost of the Namekians of old. Take me and fight. No, it was like violent, like almost like a storm. That's what I was hearing when I was reading this. Like he was holding primal fury almost in his hand, and he had to like tame it. And because again, there was a suggestion that this is somehow tied to the Dragon Balls because there's 7 of these shards. And I'm gonna tell you, be honest, as you know, admin. I have no idea where Paper is going with this story, and unless he wants me to know, I don't really want to know. I want to read it like everybody else. But that could be just thinking off the top of my head, like this could be the Shadow Dragons, right? This could be, and it's like the reason that it's a shard is because yeah, they were so dangerous that their Dragon Balls were destroyed, so that they never come back, and like now they're calling out to Cordio to you know, bring them back together, and he's so into the thought of like, yeah, like this is just a tool, like there is no good, there is no evil, I'm just doing, and then not understanding that like, oh, and by doing you are unleashing this great darkness upon the universe that now everybody has got to stop. I mean, you know, I'm just spitballing. That's I'm just spitballing here, right? It could even be like these are the 7 traps that are keeping heirs to Gon trapped away for thousands of years. Who knows? We'll find out. Good roleplay, y'all, and I will see the rest of y'all next time.